Simon Miller, Bald A-Hole here on another one of my walks. If you've never seen one of my videos like this before, sometimes I go for a walk and I record videos, especially when I have things to talk about. Now this weekend, as well as last weekend I believe, I had a few people message me going, Miller, where are the videos? And that is a very fair point. My channel is meant to be a daily upload thing, and Sundays are dumb days, and dumb days are fun days, and fun days are reaction days. And I think I've missed the last two, or at least I've missed a couple over the last month or so. So I thought, hey, the best way to try and get the message out to everybody is just to talk to you. And the best way to do that is get a camera and look into the lens and speak. Use your words. It's a normal human thing to do. But, I mean, look, if you're a fan of all of my stuff, which I massively appreciate, you will know that I haven't been up to speed with a lot of stuff. Recently, my podcast has been bad. I still am catching up with work from last week that I do for other people. And basically, life has been so crazy, so busy. Not that I'm moaning, because that means good things are happening. But given that we have a work life, a professional life, and a personal life, I quickly realised that the balance of all three was starting to kick my ass. And it wasn't a case of I went, okay, I'm not going to do a Jim Fells reaction video. It was literally, I ran out of time. And because that comes on a Sunday, like if it's Wednesday, you don't think, oh, I'll get Sunday's videos done. You think to yourself, well, I'll get Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays and so on and so forth, and then we'll get to Sunday. And then by the time I got to Saturday, I was like, well, we're screwed. Because again, I didn't have any time to do it. So I do apologise. I am aware of this. I am going to try and sort things out. But really, I mean, there is a positive side to this because it was just the world opening up again. So I got to visit What Culture offices, which I haven't done in a while you'll see eventually, but to catch up and get some stuff done. Obviously, I've been trying to get back into professional wrestling, and like yesterday, for example, I was meant to be in Liverpool in the afternoon, which I was, but that's like a 7-hour round trip from me. And in the evening, I was very lucky to have a double booking, was meant to be in London, but the traffic with the crazy apocalyptic weather we had over here meant the roads were awful, and it took me over 6 hours to get home, and by that point, it was like, I don't know, 10:30 or whatever. So you're like, well, now I've got to go to bed, and I've got to start again. So I just want you to know that nothing is going to change. I like to think I have a good work ethic, and that I shall put the time in, and eventually we'll get back to a point where I'm used to a normal world as opposed to a pandemic world. And it's only been a few months, and again, these things are balancing out as we go. But I do apologise. I know people expect a certain thing, especially if you're a Patreon too. I messaged you all earlier, but I will use the same analogy here. Like, you are my boss in many ways, and if I had an office job, I wouldn't walk into my office one day and go, oh, sorry, Bill, he's my boss now, Bill Goldberg, my dad. I just didn't have time to do that report, so I didn't do it. But well, that's not how it works. You're fired. So yes, like I say, I consider you guys my bosses because it's a views-based business. If you don't watch, what do I have? Absolutely nothing. So it's not an excuse, but I still wanted to give you a little bit of an update so you know, and you realise not the right word, but as you can see, that I'm aware of it, and it's not laziness. That's the worst one I got. Millie, you're being lazy. I was like, trust me, bro, I ain't lazy. The one thing I'm not is lazy. I like to, well, sometimes I probably get videos done even when I shouldn't, because I watch them back and go, man, I've rushed that a little bit and the quality could be better. But again, that's the nature of daily uploads on YouTube. I mean, it really is a crazy system to begin with. Also thought as well, as we are walking along and I'm answering one question, I would answer some other questions that we got as I try to avoid this massive puddle, which was here like a week ago. What's the deal with that puddle? What's the deal with that piece of road? So I kind of quickly scanned through my Instagram and Twitter DMs at Simon316 if you want to get in touch. And I mean, the main one I always get is, what are the best exercises for building muscle? And again, you should go with compound movements. As far as I'm concerned, deadlifts, squats, bench, military presses or shoulder presses. Now, some people don't want to do those exercises, and you know what, you don't have to. Like, there's no rule that says you must squat in order to build muscle. You could do isolation exercises for your entire gym career and you would build muscle, of course you would. But again, the question is, what are the best ones? And when you do a compound movement, obviously, we've talked about this time and time again, if you do a squat, you are essentially working your entire body. I mean, yeah, sure, your legs are going to take the brunt of it, but think where the bar is. Think of the exertion you need to go all the way to the floor and then drive a bar, right back up to the sky, essentially. So I would always try to incorporate them into any gym routine when you're trying to build muscle. And really, even when you've built your base, as they say, there's no reason to stop doing them, even with injuries, because let's say that, to get run over, let's say that you've got bad knees. Now, if you're doing proper squat technique, your knees probably shouldn't hurt anyway, but let's not worry about that. Let's say they just do, do lighter weight. get some knee wraps, you know, protect yourself. I mean, the Gym Fails videos are a great example of this. People think they can just march into the gym and be absolutely fine, and you know, you will be to a certain extent, but you wouldn't just get on a tractor, start driving it around going, oh, I'm a farmer now. Of course you wouldn't. You need to be trained, you need to learn these things. And it's the same with the gym. So yes, compound movements are really, really important. The other one is always, what's the best diet? And there's no such thing. The best diet is the diet that you're able to stick to and you enjoy and you're able to be sustainable with it. So maybe it will be keto, maybe it will be, I don't know, the normal 6-7 meals a day. I mean, there's so many diets, it's impossible to actually think about them. But what you need to do is, firstly, again, you need to research them and make sure you understand what you need to do and understand how it actually works within your body, like ketosis especially. So many people think ketosis just means drop carbs, increase your fat, and don't even worry about protein. It's not true. If your protein is too high, your body will not be able to go into ketosis. Again, it has to be super high, but so many people go, well, I've dropped carbs. The van's going way too fast. I've dropped carbs, so to try and balance out, I'll ensure my protein is really high, I guess because they're worried about dropping muscle, but you will not get into ketosis. So again, you need to research it, and sometimes it comes down to trial and error, like intermittent fasting. Everybody wants to give intermittent fasting a go. Just try it, but make sure you do it for, I don't know, at least 6 to 8 weeks, unless you're really sure that your body's going in the wrong direction. But your body takes time to adjust to these things. And it's the same with gym programs too, which is another question, you know, how long should I do a gym program before changing? Well, when you stop seeing results, it can be as simple as that. Again, so many people do it for a month and go, well, I'm not the size of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm not a tank, so I'm just gonna stop doing it. You haven't given your body time to adapt to it. Now, of course, yes, you need to be ahead of the game because your body will get used to these things, and shocking your body is smart, but there's a fine balance between the two, so it's important to be patient. I think that's the problem, and this ties into all the videos we do. People aren't patient anymore because we all want results yesterday. And the reason we all want results yesterday is because there's a bunch of people out there, be it on YouTube or in magazines or whatever, telling you that you can get this stuff. Was it 6-minute abs, I believe? And there's that joke in Dumb and Dumber, that's not a topical reference at all, of the guy being like, well, I can do 5-minute abs. If you're not going to get abs in 6 minutes, and your gym routine is not going to, you know, be an utter success in a month, it's just not true. Maybe when you first start lifting weights you will, because you get newbie gains, the greatest gains of all the time. So yeah, keep all this in mind. And the last question was, again, well, I get loads of questions, I appreciate it, was how much protein should I eat? Now, I'm not going to say the equation here, because I get it wrong every time when people yell at me, and I like being yelled at. But you can look it up, just Google how much protein should I eat. But even then, I think you should take that with a pinch of salt too, because you may not need as much protein as you think you need, or you may need more than you think you need. The best thing to do is to incrementally increase your protein and yeah, just sort of document everything you're doing. So are you looking better in the mirror? Are you putting on the kind of weight you want to put on? It's a really difficult process to try and judge by yourself, which is why so many people go out there and they get a coach. Like, I've only really had a coach when I did a bodybuilding competition. But I think I'd like to have a coach all the time is what I'm trying to say. I think there's huge worth in that, because they are able to look at you from a completely different viewpoint. Like, it's so difficult to look at yourself and actually, well, not be massively self-critical, to be completely honest. And they won't look at you like that. They will look at you like you're a piece of meat, basically. And they'll say, that deltoid's crap, your biceps suck, your back sucks, you know, I think there's too much carbs in your diet because you look like you're holding a lot of water, whatever it may be. But yeah, too many people go, well, I'm a 200-pound guy, so I'm going to have 250 grams of protein. And they just jump right into it. And you're like, no, slow down. Again, we all want results yesterday, and that would be great. But even if you jump on a bunch of PEDs, it's not really gonna work like that. And again, you don't know how you're gonna respond to that either. That's another question. I'm just answering them all now. I said I'd only answer 3. I've got to cross a road. I don't want to die. Although I make good YouTube content. I've told all my friends this. If I ever die, make a YouTube video about it. Because it will definitely do views. I'm a weird person. What was I saying? Completely forgotten. Oh yeah, like PEDs and stuff. Like, you don't know how you're gonna respond to that stuff. And they're really dangerous. Of course they're really dangerous. If they weren't dangerous, everybody would be doing them. Now, it doesn't mean you can't look into it and you can't research it and you can't decide what is right for you. And it doesn't matter anyway, because if you get any kind of physique, people will tell you on steroids. But that's a massive compliment. Some guy there said to me, "Oh, Miller, and I am natural, no one believes me, but you're natural." And I was like, ugh, he said, like, you look natural. It's devastated. Just, that's not what you want. I want to look like I'm on gear. So yeah, just remember, I don't know how we got here now. We've gone down a walk down Question Lane, but yeah, just remember to enjoy it, I think, is the biggest advice I'd give to anybody when they get into weights. You're not going to enjoy it all the time, but if you don't enjoy it a lot of the time, you're not going to be able to keep it up. You're going to cheat on your diet, especially because the diet's the hardest thing. You're not going to push yourself intensely enough in the gym. And that's a video we've got coming up soon. That's something that I have been recording. I've been doing Ryan Hummerston's 30-day program. I'm going to go through a bunch of people's workouts. I've downloaded, or bought I should say, Athlete X's, and I've got Jeff Nippard's new one on pre-order, which I think came out yesterday or today or whatever it was. I just thought it'd be fun for me too to go through some different workouts and let you know what I like and what I don't like. And if you don't know about Ryan Hummerston, his thing, or at least what he's pimping out there at the moment, is just volume and a hell of a lot of reps. But it's been really fun to do something different, and again, it kind of reminded me that whether I am benefiting from it not long term, which we'll talk about when I do the video, do the review, it has reminded me how intense you do need to be in the gym, and that's where it's got to start. Even before your diet, if you're not going to the gym and kicking your own ass, you're not going to see the growth you want. You still see some growth, but you won't see the growth that you want. So always start there. Before you start jumping into everything else, just take a look in the mirror like Michael Jackson and think to yourself, am I training hard enough? And I would hazard a guess that 95% of us, the answer is no. I don't want to talk about this too much because this is just copying the video we did the other day. So there you go. I'll get back into a routine. If the video doesn't go up, it means I'm in a car driving somewhere across the world, because people have been very nice to me to book me on their shows, but that doesn't mean that other things should suffer. That's not the idea. It just happens sometimes. Sometimes life kicks your ass, like I say, and you've got to roll with it. But it's important that you all know that I massively appreciate the support, I massively appreciate the views, and I am well aware that without all that, I don't have half the things I get anyway. You are my boss, you are my support network, you are the thing I'm able to build a tiny platform on, and hopefully one day it will be a bigger platform. So I give you a salute, thank you for your patience. Like the video, share the video, subscribe, leave a comment below calling me an a-hole, always good. Patreon.com/Simon316, Simon.bigcartel.com for merch. I'm on Cameo. I'm affiliated now with Great New Set, more plates, more dates. It's all in the description below. But otherwise, thank you, appreciate it, take care, and let's get back to work.